I think it's really important to build a career around the life that you desire because it's your career. It's one life. You get to make it exactly what you want. So to carve it around your giftings or what you want to bring to society, whatever that looks like, will just make it more impactful because it's centered around you. I think I did have dreams to work in a career and in a job that was kind of sky's the limit. Like I wanted to be in charge of my own schedule. I wanted to, if I wanted to do a historic home tour, I wanted to be able to do that. If I wanted to do a special event, I wanted to be able to do that. I wanted to be able to dream and not have any lids on those dreams. So yes, overarching kind of goal, I feel like I did think I would be at this point. Now how that organically happens and the timeline of those and how, going through the stages of life plays into when is it good to start a brokerage, when is it good to go on your own and add agents. That was kind of a fun surprise along the way. But yeah, I did think I would hopefully be at this point at this time in my life. When you're thinking about your job being what you do and who you are, I think it's a freeing thing and a good reminder to remember that we're human beings. We're not human doers. And so what we do is part of our daily life and our function, but it's not who we are. And what we do was going to change throughout life. You may be in the same career path for most of your life, but how you execute and who you're doing it with and the goals are going to change. So if too much of your identity is wrapped into what you do, that's going to improperly dictate who you are. And so I think figuring out who you are and your overall goal on what you want to bring to society or the gifts that you have that you want to contribute, that will carry you longer because those gifts will always be with you, but you can just apply them to different jobs or different career paths that you take throughout your life. Oh man, grace. Every day is a new day. You may not kill it the day before, but it's a new opportunity to try again. I think tangibly communication is massive. Communication with your spouse, with your kids, with your customers or your clients. There's some days that I have to explain to my 3-year-old, hey, mommy has to work today. Mommy's gonna work for these many hours and then we'll spend time, later in the day together. And then days I don't have to work as much, I'll say, Nova, we can spend the whole entire day together. Like, what a blessing, So I think even communication with your kids, with your spouse, there's some days where I tell my spouse, hey, I don't have to work most of the day, but I have to write 3 contracts tonight. So, let's sit down at 8 o'clock and both work together, put on a vinyl and just be together, but have to work, So making work not your whole life, but a part of your life and making it something that you don't dread and it's this negative thing that's taking you away from your family, but explaining to your family that, no, this is something that's integrated in us. I think doing it together as a family and everyone being on the same page and not feeling like they're left out of the equation or they're, after I get work, then I'm with my family. As long as you're communicating, I think it helps a lot. I think getting in young in any industry is very helpful just because you have so much more time to grow up with it and to learn and to be mentored, as well as whatever clientele that you're hitting, you can grow up with them. So you just have a lot more years to advance in the industry. I don't think it's the only thing that played into the success or wherever I'm at right now. I think also I sort of fell into this historic home niche that I didn't intend to do. But again, I just grew up in historic homes. I loved them. That was natural to me and my lifestyle. So when I got into real estate, I naturally was drawn to historic. So I think being younger and bringing maybe a little bit more relevance of social media and promotion to an industry that's a little bit older, as well as historic homes at the same time that Joanna Gaines made historic homes the coolest thing ever, sort of just worked out. So I think timeline, being at the right place just long enough that the right time happens, was sort of what also contributed to my success. So kind of going back to real estate being very sales driven, I've always tried to be the anti-sales. So I've always tried to, like I said, put other people ahead of me and highlight what they're doing in their homes and making them the star. And then people find out that I was their realtor. And I feel like what I've seen is there's that much more of a demand of wanting me because I'm not making it about me. I want people to love homes for homes. I want people to love their city for a city. I don't want any of that to get watered down or, painted as like, oh, this is just a marketing tool for another realtor to make me buy a house. Like, I want people to fall in love with it, and then if they see me as the expert, awesome. Advice I'd give an entrepreneur that wants to start in a similar career is don't be discouraged feeling like there are so many people in your industry or that it's overly saturated. No one is you. And so if you can tap into the things that you want to bring to the table and what you're gifted in, you'll set yourself apart maybe in an industry that feels like there's a lot of people. No one is you. The best advice I think someone's given me is you can fail well. There's really no failure if you use the failure to teach you something or to succeed or set you up for your next adventure. I think the freedom of knowing that nothing's ever lost. So even if an event you did wasn't as successful as you thought, or the business venture you started, it didn't take off, it's still preparing you and it's still growing you for whatever is next. When I started into real estate, websites were kind of moving out, and Instagram and social media was becoming how you found businesses and how you search for things or found credibility in things. How many followers do they have, their activity? And so that was, a natural thing with my age, and it just made most sense, and it was the easiest. I don't know how to start a website. When you start a business, I don't have the money to do that or the people, so Instagram or Facebook was just so much easier. But I liked the idea of just with houses, one photo is very powerful if you're talking about Instagram. People don't have time to scroll through hundreds of photos on homes on Zillow. Maybe they do if they're looking for a home, but it's just too much information. So I think just the clean look of, trusting that when they came to my account, they would have one house that they were inspired by for that day. And whether they were learning about architecture of the home, whether maybe it was for sale, maybe it wasn't, maybe again, it was highlighting a remodel that someone had just done, but they could come and learn about homes without feeling they were inundated with sales to buy it. It's very important to be involved in the community when you're in business. You want to have relational equity with people, so you deposit in people and they'll deposit in you. So if you want to be successful in business or whatever you're endeavoring to, know your barista by name, know the owners of the restaurants that you go to, and in turn, they'll want to know you. You invest in businesses and then they'll invest in you. So knowing your city and your city knowing you is extremely important in your success. Lakeland is the perfect blend of a small town feel where you'll see people periodically that around town that really makes you feel like you're in a community, but it has the amenities and the resources of a large city. So you have the food culture, you have the coffee culture, you have the walkability to bars and restaurants, you have enough events that carry you through, but you don't have traffic. And you don't have to pay to park really anywhere. So you have the ease of living in a small town, but you have all the fun of a big city. Lakeland is special. Lakeland is kind of the best kept secret to me. We moved here really to get married. It was an opportunity where we could have jobs and we could get married and we could advance our life really young. We would have moved anywhere to do that. And so Lakeland just happened to be the place that was our ticket to do that. And so I've really fallen in love with Lakeland. I didn't choose it. I feel like Lakeland chose me for the opportunity and what I could do in life. Man, the mark I want to leave on Lakeland is to love historic homes and understand the value they bring to our city. I really do think that these homes just hold so much history, and when you get to own one, you get to be almost an author of its story that's always being written. And these homes will outlast us. They have outlasted people that have owned them. And so I think the more you can love your city, and even if you can never own a historic home, just know their value and how incredible they are and the beauty they bring to a city. And that's really what the city has. We have our historic buildings and our homes. Everything else is passing. So just to preserve them and see them as the museums that they are to what Lakeland holds is just really important to me.